Now to the issue of the coal industry and whether or not Labor will back future coal mines like Adani in the Galilee Basin. The opposition leader was asked about that.
Adani has confirmed it's fielding inquiries about the use of the Galilee Basin rail line from potential third-party operators. What is Labor's position on the expansion of the Galilee coal mine, and would Labor approve new coal mines if it won government, considering some are already going through the approval system?
Labor's position on this is very clear, that you have appropriate environmental approvals, and if coal mines stack up environmentally and then commercially, which is a decision for the companies, then they get approved.
Let's go live to Matt Canavan. He's a national senator, joins me live from Newcastle. Senator Canavan, thanks for your time. Do you welcome that sentiment from Anthony Albanese when it comes to coal?
Well, I would like to believe it, Kieran. I'd love to be able to believe it, but I don't think it's very believable from a Labor Party. It has a record of shifting their position on coal mines as much as the wind changes position. I mean, a few years ago, Anthony Albanese himself said that he didn't see a market for coal. He was completely wrong, given the record prices that are there at the moment for our high-quality coal. A few years before that, when Bill Shorten was leader, he opposed the Adani mine. He said he didn't support it. And now there are 2,000 people employed there. They've had an environment spokesperson, Mark Butler, who said that opening the Adani mine would crash the coal price and cause coal miners here in the Hunter to lose their jobs. Again, totally wrong. The Adani mine is opened and coal price at record levels. There's not enough coal. So I pick up out in regional Queensland and down here in the Hunter that people are very, very cynical about a Labor Party that seems to just change whatever they're saying depending on where they are. It's like they get up in the morning and say, OK, Google, what's my position on coal today? It's all based on the GPS location of where they are.
Do you not think that they've also been able to learn the lesson of 2019, where, of course, you prosecuted that case to great political effect? They copped it. They're trying to amend their approach. It's pretty clear-cut, isn't it?
Well, I think, Kieran, the key phrase there in your question is trying to. There's no doubt they're trying to. There's no doubt they're tryhards on coal, the Labor Party. And as you say, they got a bit of a bruising there 3 years ago and are now trying very hard to say, oh, they're actually in favour of it and those things. But it comes back to the question of trust. Can you trust them? The Liberal National Party has a record of going through the process, making sure mines get approval at a reasonable amount of time and then getting the jobs going, like in Adani. The Labor Party there in Queensland, they've been sitting on the New Acland mine for 15 years, still yet to give an answer. And so 500 workers there west of Toowoomba know exactly what the Labor Party thinks of coal. And if Anthony Albanese really was more than just trying hard to look like supportive of coal, he'd come out and call for Anastasia Palaszczuk to actually approve that mine after 15 years, or at least make a decision one way or another.
You say who people can. You say it comes down to who people can trust. The Shine Energy company behind the Collinsville coal-fired power station, that proposal. They think they can't trust the Morrison government because the feasibility study, as Matt Canavan reported in the Courier Mail today, PM slammed by coal boss. It's the front of the Courier Mail today. You promised a feasibility study, still nothing happening, and we're 5 minutes to midnight.
Well, that's not all correct, and I do disagree with the comments made by the boss of Shine Energy there. We have met our commitments of funding a feasibility study there. The work is still ongoing by Shine Energy. They have produced a pre-feasibility report, which is a very substantial piece of work and really does make the case for the need to invest in things like coal-fired power. But the promises weren't made beyond that by the coalition government. Shine Energy, the company, does want further government assistance, and that's why they've expressed disappointment here, and I keep working with them. I think there's a very strong case for that. I'll keep pushing that case. But there'll be nobody, obviously, in the Labor Party that will push the case for the need for investment in reliable coal-fired power. I mean, just look at what's happened the last couple of weeks here in New South Wales since Liddell turned off one unit.
Well, let's see. Just on Collinsville, though, they say that PM's gaslighting them and gaslighting North Queensland.
No, I disagree.
Saying, we'll back you, but it's not happening.
Well, I disagree with that conclusion. And as I said, we have backed them to produce these reports. There weren't commitments made beyond that. And look, I try and fight for funding for lots of different projects, and not always am I successful. And quite often, of course, proponents are disappointed when that support may not be forthcoming. But there was no commitment to go beyond this. And so that's my job to continue to push that case. And I'm happy to cop that criticism and just keep fighting for it. Because as I say, we desperately need that in this country. The first 2 weeks of April this year have seen the highest electricity prices on record for the start of April. Indeed, they're double what their previous peak was, straight after the Liddell shut its first unit. So what's going to happen when we shut down more and more coal-fired power stations? We're going to end up like Europe. We're going to end up with these massive high power prices which people can't afford, and it'll be the death knell for our manufacturing industry.